Well, everybody, SD Costume Guy here, and here is how I dirty up my hands for my Michael Myers costume or Jason Voorhees costume. This is the way I do it. Did a lot of reading, a lot of research over the years. This just happens to work for me. You're more than welcome to mix and match and do other things for yourself. And that's what I did. It just kind of pieced things together over the years from reading online stuff, watching videos, and taking different ideas from everyone, and then adding maybe a little bit of my own. So, unfortunately, I've already cut my fingernails for the week, so they're not very long. I used to make fingernails for my Friday the 13th Part 4 costume, but it was a little hard to keep on, and so I decided just to let my fingernails grow for like 10 days before a convention and just shove paint up underneath there, and it worked out. So I have this. I got this at Walmart. It's L'Oreal True Match Super Blend Powder, and this is a cocoa color. I also have this stuff. It's called glycerin. It's like some type of a first aid stuff. I'm not sure exactly what you use it for, but it's in the first aid section. I got this at Target, and I have quite a bit of it, and I've used it many times. Let's see what else I got here. I have some acrylic black paint. If you don't want to use acrylic paint, you can also use like a cream black makeup. And I happen to have this also. I have a little small, kind of somewhat stiff, bristled paintbrush. These little square sponges. You can get these at the 99-cent store for a huge pack. One of my favorite colors, burnt umber acrylic paint. I got this at Michael's. And to start off, I take a little nail file, scratch up my nail. Bear with me because today's trash day and the trash collector's been around already, and I may have to pause it here and there. So what I like to do is get the nail kind of roughed up. I wish it was a little bit longer because I could shove paint up underneath that fingernail. It would look really good. So I'm going to I have a little bowl of water. I have some of this burnt umber paint. Get some of this burnt umber paint and just kind of go over my nail. What I'm doing is kind of staining the nail. Get another paper towel. I also have like a damp sponge, and I'm just going to kind of tap it and kind of wipe it off. You can already see the discoloration of my nail. You can let that dry. What you can do too is just paint the top part or towards the front part and kind of leave this little area back here a little bit lighter. You want to do that. Comes right off. If you do too much, you don't like it, you take it right back off. I hear the trash collector coming. Anyway, what I'm trying to do is trying to just make this nail look dirty, especially down here in the cracks or the edges of my fingernail. If my fingernail was a little bit longer, I would take some black and I would take it and then kind of shove it up underneath there. You can also go down here if you wanted to. This is what I like to do, just take a little bit of black. You can also kind of go over it and then tap it with your finger. Make it as dark or as light as you like it. Get some more of that burnt umber paint. Pretty dull, pretty dirty. Get some of the black. Like I said, it's just going to be up to you on how you dirty or not that you want it. I'm going to go ahead and leave it like that so we can kind of move on and not make this video super long. So I'm going to take the cocoa colored powder makeup, get one of these little sponges, get some of the makeup on the sponge, and just going to kind of go over my hand here. Still not done. If you take some of the glycerin and you get it on the sponge, kind of beads up. You can also rub it in the makeup when it's wet too. And what'll happen is you'll get a darker spot. It'll be a little bit dirtier, a little bit darker. I'll do 2 fingers, I guess. I don't want to do my whole hand. I got things to do today. Me, I have a thing with not wanting my inside of my hands dirty, so I usually don't do the inside of my hands. You can get it on your hand and you can kind of smear it on. But there you go so far as you look at that. Let me get some more of that glycerin here. If you can see, might not be able to see it. This also helps the makeup stay on. It lasts me all day long. Washing my hands, like I said, I usually just wash the inside of my hands. Here's a look at that, side by side. Now, with the cream makeup, and you can use acrylic paint too, but it kind of rubs off. On your skin. So take some of this cream makeup, and I like to go through the cracks. Now you don't have to buy the expensive stuff. This stuff, it had a price tag on it, $9.99. You can use this black cream makeup you get at the Halloween store, like 99 cents. But I like to put some of this black on here. And you can rub it in with the sponge too. And you can even get a sponge, get some of that black makeup on there and add some darker colors to it, especially across the knuckles. If that's too much, just go in with the cocoa powder again and kind of wipe over it. Get some of that glycerin. The trash truck's coming, so I'm going to pause it for a second. Okay, I think the trash truck is far enough away. So there you have it. There's the different look there. And this makeup, this is a wet sponge. It doesn't really come off until you put soap and water on it. They're side by side. I mean, I could spend more time and do this. I put a little bit down in here too, just so you can see it on my hand there. There's been times where I've put this makeup on. I didn't really do the inside of my hands. I drove to LA for an hour and 45 minutes and stole on my hands and put my costume on and spent the few hours or several hours in costume with the makeup on my hands and fingernails, and then just washed it off with soap and water in the sink. Everything comes off the skin except for if you're using the acrylic paint, it's going to take a little bit to get this off. But that's how I do that. And kind of see my hand. Let me see if I can put this a little bit further back. Yeah. You can kind of see the dirtiness here versus here. This just adds a lot to the costumes. I think it does. When I did some work with Universal Pictures for the 2018 Halloween Michael Myers movie, they had me come try on the costume. Universal had a costume and a mask there. I tried everything on. I said, hey, can I black out the eyes on the mask? And they're like, well, what are you talking about? What's it look like? So I showed them how I did that. They loved it. I said, hey, can I also dirty up my hands? And they said, no blood, but what does it look like? And I had some pictures at the time, and I showed them, and they said, yes, please do that. What's funny is when the next time they called me to do an event as Michael Myers up in LA for the opening of the film, they said, hey, when you wear this costume, you can use this to black out your eyes, and here's some stuff to make your hands look dirty. I'm like, yeah, I'm the one that told you guys that. But there you have it. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more. So what do you think? Does that work? I don't know why this works. It just does. I've tried it without it. It's all right, but it just seems like it makes it stick a little bit better. And it's not oily. It's not. I mean, to me, it doesn't feel oily. It says it's vegetable base, but I don't know. I just know that when I read about it, it just made it darker. You can get this sponge kind of wet with the stuff and make darker marks. Now, like I said, you can go in here with the black black cream makeup, and if you want more black smudges elsewhere, be my guest and do that. But you can always just take the black off. Black comes off pretty easy, but it's the cocoa powder that sticks really good. So there you have it. Look one more time. See if I can get zoomed in here. It'd be a little too close. And there you have it. Again, this is the Cocoa Color. I mean, you may not be this brand, but Cocoa. Glycerin. I did have a hard time finding this. I could not find it at Walmart. Target was sometimes sold out. I think like CVS Pharmacy and stuff like that has it. It's in the first aid aisle. That's where this is at. Black acrylic paint if you want to shove it up underneath your fingernails and stuff like that. The burnt umber color, which I use a lot for lots of different things. Aging signs, dirtying up, all kinds of different stuff. This burnt umber color just works as dirt really, really good. The black cream makeup, you can either use the expensive kind like this, or you can use the 99-cent store cream makeup. It works too. I've used them both. And triangle sponges. I mean, you can get a whole big bag of them for like $1 at the 99-cent store. A little bit of a stiff brush. Nail file. I like to take the shine off my nails and give it a little roughed up surface so the paint will stick. Damp sponge, because I can just kind of go in here and kind of tap and take paint off, or if I don't like it, I can just push hard enough and you'll get a lot of that paint. If you see here, you'll see that I'm getting it off. And if I wanted to, I can get some acrylic paint back on. Kind of just dab it, pull it off. Dirty again. Tap it with my finger if you want. You can get some black. If it's too much, you can just kind of tap it. Now, whatever works for you. There you have it. Dirtying up your hands for costumes. Have any questions? Let me know.